Hello and welcome to Spark Joy Astrology. My name is Joy, and I am here today to talk to you about a wedge that is happening in the sky. That is an aspect made up of an opposition, a sextile, and a trine. So a positive aspect that is forming in the sky today, but also intel about Mars moving out of Libra and into Scorpio, which is good news for us. This wedge and Mars's movement is definitely forcing some breaking old habits, old cycles, and creating an evolutional push, challenges to structures, and really asking us to embrace our unique spark, Mars, of divinity to overcome challenge, Saturn, and really work to up-level into our most sovereign, powerful self. That is Black Moon Lilith. So that gives you a little hint on who is helping us create this wedge today. But before we go to the aspects of the day, let's talk about what happens when Mars moves into Scorpio. Well, the fiery masculine character of Mars moving into the watery feminine home of Scorpio. From October 11th to November 24th, we will be working with Scorpio in its home sign, or rather Mars in its home sign of Scorpio. Mars in Scorpio ignites passions because Mars is the passionate warrior and Scorpio is the depths of our emotional being, that watery goodness. So here we are being given this opportunity to invigorate energy around sparks, to really make them flames, drive our ambitions, our goals into full fire. And Mars is about action, desire, purpose, assertiveness, that charging towards a goal kind of energy. It's the primal aspect of ourselves, right? That warrior. So it definitely speaks to sex as well. And Scorpio, this feminine watery sign, has the ability to go deep, to feel, to get sensitive, to confront challenges head on. The Scorpion loves the taboo subjects such as power and sexuality, shadow work, transformation, the occult practices, the things that really get into the nitty-gritty of how everything works. Scorpio is the investigator of the cosmos. So with these two coming together, Mars and Scorpio, we are really given the opportunity to drive into a focus that gets us into our instinctual knowing, and really helps us to use this cunning, strategizing energy towards our goals. And the aspects of the month are definitely supporting Mars in this beautiful drive forward towards embracing our unique divinity. The wedge, let's come back to that now. Let's first set up the exact, minute by minute play for the day on October 11th. At 12:21 a.m., our sun at 17 degrees in Libra was opposite Chiron in Aries. Aries and Libra are a very important axis. Right now, we are leading into the eclipse. And the eclipse, we have Pluto squaring the north and south nodes in Aries and Libra. Aries and Libra, the warrior and the peacemaker. We really have these interesting dynamics, these dualities that we're working to bring into balance through Pluto squaring these nodes. Pluto is the planet of hell, of going deep into the unconscious parts of ourselves and really excavating these shadowy parts so that we can use them as lessons, as gold to up-level our own lives and enrich our own self. And so this powerful T-square between Pluto and the nodes is building and has actually been in play since really its peak on July 28th. But this dynamic energy of Aries and Libra is being pulled on us right at the beginning of this day when Mars, by the end of the day moves into Scorpio. So our sun opposite Chiron is asking us to heal, to look at wounds, to shine the light of awareness on where we're at in that healing process. We then move to 9:06 a.m. where the moon makes a trine to Jupiter. The moon in Virgo is trining Taurus. Here we have Jupiter going retrograde. Jupiter and the moon coming into a positive aspect amplifies our moods, gives us that desire to expand and to seek comfort. Taurus is stability. So our emotions were most definitely responding to the pain, the trauma, seeing where we're at, and then amplifying through emotional quality. Maybe you reached out to a feminine person in your life, moon representing yin energy. Then 10:04 p.m. we have Mars moving into Scorpio. Mars will be here until November 24th. And at this 0-degree mark of Mars in Scorpio, we have quite an interesting aspect setting up. This is the wedge, which consists of Saturn at 10:08 p.m. making an exact opposition to Black Moon Lilith. Well, Black Moon Lilith and Saturn are in that wedge formation to Mars at 0 degrees. So here we have a 0-degree wedge. Whenever you're working with the 0-degree mark, we are working with brand new energy, new cycle. And so with Saturn and Black Moon Lilith conjunct Venus, they're right next to each other, and Mars. This wedge is truly asking us to force an evolution. Black Moon Lilith opposite Saturn has us looking at what old structures are prohibiting us from really stepping into our full power. How can we embrace that unique spark, hello Mars, of divinity and overcome these old structures that keep us bound and not expressing our full sovereign potentials. So this wedge is most definitely setting us up for the intense eclipse that happens on Saturday, where Pluto is making that tight T-square. We are looking at our shit, friends, and with a war starting on our planet, we are looking at old systems of control that need to be rised up upon. That dynamic axis of Aries and Libra is most definitely pointing us to a balance point of how can we show up with courage and determination, but have it be balanced in ideals of peace, of coming from our heart center. This challenging Martian energy and, positive wedge is asking us to use the fiery masculine energy to balance with the feminine watery energy of Mars and Scorpio. Aspects that'll happen to Mars during this transition or transit in till November 24th are empowering aspects. On October 13th, we will have Mars trining Saturn. This is on the lunar or solar eclipse, and so this brings in a stabilizing energy, but most definitely an expanding energy when it comes to those Martian traits. So ambition, courage, action, purpose. Then on November 11th, Mars opposes Neptune. This is where we can certainly come into a bit of reactive, rebellious sort of energy. Oh, I said Neptune. I meant Uranus, the rebellion friend, the one that does ignite change and shifts within us. And so when Mars is opposite this, we can come into something that forces that change. On November 17th, Mars trines Neptune, here's Neptune, where we are given that benevolent trine into creating more creative, spiritual intelligence in our life, driving towards that spiritual connection. On November 18th, the Sun and Mars come into a cazimi at the same degree, and so Mars is uplifted by the Sun, and we're really given a confidence booster. On November 21st, Mars comes into a sextile with Pluto, and this is where Mars will make his last aspect, checking into Pluto, and really seeing seeing how we've up-leveled in really working towards those desires that do break us out of society's little boxes. So there you are, friends. That is Mars moving into Scorpio. Most definitely a potent movement on this day where that wedge is setting up that 0-degree wedge. It is time to do you. Let go of old ways and charge forward passionately with your heart wide open, with trust and love and